now that I'm emotionally wrecked. Thanks, NXT.
Good job, guys.
Welcome to our NXT Takeover Chicago review, which...
AKA the why we aren't going to be as excited for Backlash at all review.
Yeah, no,
because
at this point, Backlash can fuck right off.
It does not start with a Randy Newman song.
No, it does not. NXT didn't even, but it was way better.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, 4 out of the 5 matches I graded an A.
I mean...
and the other one was a solid B.
Yeah,
so.
They all delivered. They were all great. We started with Roddy versus
They didn't
Eric
even charge
Young.
For delivery.
Nope. Roderick Strong versus
$9.99.
Eric Young. Roddy pulling out the first surprise of the night by just attacking Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf from behind.
Just gonna try and even the numbers out.
Yeah, just immediately putting things, putting the momentum on his side.
He smashes Dane into the post and backbreakers Wolf on the guardrail, and he looks at Eric Young and goes, "Oh, what happened?
What happened to your buddies?" And then him and Eric just proceed to tear the fucking house down in the opening match.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them they work off of each other so well.
And Roddy, had control of probably, the first half of the match, for the most part. Eric Young got 1 or 2 moves in every now and again, but Roddy had, the basis of the control and did a lot of chops. He's doing a lot of, setting up for stuff, but Eric would get out, but then he'd still end up, kicking Eric Young in the face.
Yeah, he did that lifting knee a lot, too.
Yeah, and then Young finally got to take over when he hit his wheelbarrow neckbreaker on the outside.
That was a gnarly bump, too. And then, and Roddy did a great job of he had that fire to him for this match just because of the attack that spawned this match.
Yeah.
And he did a great job of despite, and once Wolf and Dane got back up, they were able to kind of get involved a little bit. Dane just mowed over Roddy at one point.
Wolf kicked him in the face.
Yeah, it was, Roddy did a great job of just constantly firing back up and just not letting the numbers keep him down.
Oh.
This was Roddy's moment. He wasn't gonna let Eric Young take it away, despite having the numbers against him. We finally ended up having them battling on the turnbuckle there. I think Young was trying to go for a superplex to the outside.
Yeah.
And Roddy just said no and knocked him right off. He went crashing through Dane and Wolf. Roddy goes down, picks him back up, tosses him back in the ring, and for the first time in WWE, he hit the strong breaker.
Yeah.
His suplex into the backbreaker and beat Eric Young with that move. It looks gnarly every time it happens, and it's a damn good finisher. So,
Good job, Roddy.
Starting the night off, fantastic. Let's just kick it up to 11 with match number 2.
I'm gonna go on a limb today. I went to 12.
Yeah, no, I'll give it that. UK Championship, first time being defended at a takeover. Rematch from the finals of the UK Championship tournament. Tyler Bate defending against Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
This was
Match of the night.
Fucking just straight fire. This from beginning
This
to...
was Becky Lynch.
Yes. It was hot. It was...
Ginger?
No.
No.
No, it wasn't. It was really fucking good. It was really fucking good.
Irish?
No, British.
Uh,
UK, though.
Yeah.
What do you even say about a match like this?
Watch it.
Yeah.
Our review for this match is just go watch this match if you haven't already seen it. If you don't have the network, free 30 days, watch this match.
This match specifically.
Watch this match. It's worth $9.99. Just this match.
I'd pay more just to see this match. But yeah, seriously.
It was the epitome of back and forth. Both guys just really played up their strengths. What was kind of cool was to see like the difference of the way they wrestled that we just saw the previous night in the UK special versus in Chicago at Takeover is they really kind of like molded the style differently, where they wrestled a lot more traditionally the Euro style pro wrestling.
Yeah.
When they were doing their matches over in the UK, and when they came here, they popped everybody. They did a lot of like the chain wrestling, the catch style stuff right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it ended up evolving into like a PWG-esque spot fest at the end.
And
it worked because like that's what was gonna pop the crowd in Chicago versus in the UK is they needed something that resembled like Zayn Nakamura.
Yeah. That is the best comparison to this match is Zayn Nakamura from Dallas is
the only reason why that one pops into my head is because these guys also got the Fight Forever chain.
Yeah. And they fucking deserved it, man. It was absolute perfection in a match.
Yeah, they even like had a little boxing brawl in the middle of it.
They did everything. It was such a well-rounded match. Like any type of wrestling you wanted, you got in this match.
Pretty much. At the end, we had Bate reverse the bitter end into a DDT. Dunn got sent to the outside. Bate goes out and hits a second rope moonsault. Throws him in the ring. He hits a spiral tap off the top rope back into the ring. Pete Dunne kicks out. Pete Dunne rolls back out of the ring.
Yeah.
And Tyler goes for an over-the-top tope. Pete Dunne clocks him with a forearm on the way down. Throws him back in the ring, hits the bitter end, and is your new WWE UK champion.
Yeah. Fuck. Watch it. Watch this fucking match. And then watch it again.
A plus.
Plus. We moved on to our triple threat NXT Women's Championship match. Asuka defending against Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. Probably the least impressive match of the night.
Yeah.
But still very fun. I feel like this was my favorite Ruby Riott match so far. I feel like she got to showcase a lot more of herself in this. I still love seeing Nikki work by herself and not needing the rest of Sanity to be out there. Like obviously they're not going to be out there to punch women in the face because that's No Way Jose's thing. But the fact that she's able to still take what she does within the realm of that gimmick and still make herself believable. Yeah. She doesn't need the monsters around her to feel like a threat.
Yeah.
And she was just complete fucking insanity throughout this entire match.
Well, that's my favorite part about Nikki Cross, to be honest, is I think out of all 4 members of Sanity, her character, she plays most into it than anyone else does.
Yeah.
Young doesn't have to so much because he's the guy that has to be intelligible because he's like the leader and he cuts the promos.
Right.
Wolf gets into it a lot too.
Yeah, when he does his little mosh dance.
To me, he's just too goofy looking though. Nikki kind of hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Where Sanity kind of look like half Mad Max barbarians, but also half New York City back alley junkies.
She's great with that gimmick, and she's very believable. And then Asuka, I mean, you don't need to say anything about Asuka. Asuka does what Asuka does. and she's
which is gonna kill you.
Yeah, and she's consistent every time.
She's undefeated.
You know, they didn't. You know, one thing that you and I talked about before the match happened is that they didn't do a lot of like everybody involved in spots, which the match definitely could have used. They relied more on one-on-one action, get rid of the third person, and then do a clever way to get rid of person A to bring in person C, then knock out B, and then just keep alternating.
It was a constant rotation essentially,
which wasn't a bad thing, but they could have used a bit more trio spots.
Yeah, and the few they did really did work because we had the one that Nikki Cross had a jumping sleeper hold.
Yeah.
On Ruby, and Asuka just kind of waist locked her off of Ruby into a German suplex.
And it was the one early on where Asuka hit the one hip attack to knock Ruby off, and then the other one to knock Nikki down in the middle of the ring, and then that started their first little bit. It was a very solid match. It was nothing wrong with the match to me in particular.
Yeah.
I definitely think they would have benefited more had Ember Moon still been in the match.
Yeah.
That would have completely changed the dynamic. But yeah, we had, at the end, Asuka...
Kudos to Ruby for continuing after dumping herself onto her back of her head, trying that Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
Because that looked less than pleasant.
A very unfortunate fall for herself. But yeah, Asuka ended up getting taken out by both Ruby and Nikki, double clothesline over the top, because both of them realized, let's get her the fuck out, and then we'll deal with it.
Yeah, because they had the triple down.
Yeah.
After they all hit a series of moves, and then Nikki and Ruby got up to their knees, and then Asuka was getting standing on the ropes, and she was almost doing the Tozawa thing where she just kept yelling.
She was getting herself all riled up. She's like, ah! She was making all kinds of noise, and both of them just went, fuck her.
Yeah.
Clothesline over the top rope. And then they had a good exchange where they both kind of hit devastating moves. Ruby ends up dropping Nikki with her her step up kick, and as she's going for the pin, she's facing towards the rope. Asuka runs in, comes off the ropes, hits a running knee right to Ruby's face, and then just lays down on both women, and Asuka retains the NXT Women's Championship. Ember still has her goal intact. She can still be the first person to beat Asuka. That still blows my mind that Asuka has been consistent, entertaining, and has never lost. Amazing. And we followed that up with the NXT Championship match, not the tag team titles.
Nope.
Saving that for the main event.
Well, it's one of those things where it's
it's the stipulation.
It's a ladder match.
Yeah.
And so not to sell Hideo Itami or Bobby Roode short, but
they got a hell of a rivalry in that tag team title match.
It's the rivalry. It's the fact that it's a ladder match. It's the fact that DIY are the Tommy Dreamer of NXT right now.
Over AF.
They became, it's NXT always has that that one character or team that's this is the embodiment of it. It was Sami Zayn for the longest time.
Yeah.
And now that he's gone,
Sami Zayn split into two people, and it became Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That's why Sami Zayn isn't as good on the main roster.
Why he can't win.
All of his winning went to DIY. But Hideo and Bobby Roode had a fantastic match. Very, very cut and dry.
Yeah.
Very. I will give this to the Chicago crowd. I loved the fact that they were so into the baby faces.
Yeah.
That it wasn't oh yeah, we love all the heels. Granted, people like Pete Dunne and Bobby Roode got great reactions, but so did Tyler Bate and Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
And that really adds to the overall story of the match when the babyface is legitimately, not like Roman Reigns, but is actually loved by the fans.
Yeah. Bobby Roode really into this thing.
Oh yeah,
now.
I assume that he's just trying to fly. He's just gonna. He's got propellers going on, man. He's gonna levitate one day.
I just feel like he's trying to practice his Tyler Bate impression, his little like Tyler Bate wave.
Tyler Bate's just like, no, it's very simple. He's like, I've got this.
Yeah. You know, and that was like one of my favorite segments of the whole match is like right early on in the match, and like they have like the first little like tie-up exchange, and then like they back apart from each other, and Bobby Roode goes and he does the whole glorious thing, and Hideo just walks up and picks him up like he's going to give him the GTS, and then Bobby Roode wiggles off and runs halfway down.
He's like, nope. He almost like just leaves at that point. And then the work on Bobby's arm to really like negate the glorious DDT was great.
Which is like it was something that it started like halfway through the match too. It wasn't like an initial focal point for Hideo Itami, which is what I really appreciated. Is it became very sudden because Bobby Roode hit his shoulder into the post.
Yeah,
going for like a shoulder while Hideo was in the corner. And the way he just sold everything.
I loved Bobby's selling in this match.
First it was the strikes, but then it became like every time that Hideo hit him, you would see it affect the shoulder.
Yeah.
And every time he tried to do a move, you would see like if he was like falling down like with a suplex or something, the impact would rattle his shoulder.
Even like his taunt too. Like he ended up doing just the one side for Glorious because he literally couldn't lift.
Yeah,
that
I was really
arm.
hoping that the crowd was just gonna say glory. And
just like half of it.
Not give him the benefit of the.
It was just
second half of the word.
A great story was told, and then Hideo's knee ended up being an issue, which once again, Bobby trying to negate the GTS.
Yeah, well, that was like another cool thing because the leg injury of Hideo came as sudden and as naturally as Bobby Roode's shoulder to the post. Hideo went to do a hesitation drop kick to Bobby Roode on the outside. Bobby Roode moved, and he just kicked full force into the ring stairs.
Yeah. And it was
solid steel ring steps.
Yeah.
According to that guy in the front row.
Yeah. Thanks for that call. We needed that.
And he started clutching at his ankle, and it was like that moment where I thought that they were going to go back to the Shinsuke Bobby Roode match, and I thought Roode was going to start going for that single leg crab again.
Oh, okay.
But they actually used it cleverly in order to like. The first time that Hideo went to go for the GTS, after that happened, he actually like couldn't hold him up.
Yeah, and then both of them had desperation moments where they were able to hit their finishers. Hideo was able to kick out because Bobby couldn't quite get the coverage he wanted because he's like constantly guarding that arm. And then Hideo hits the GTS, but Bobby rolls all the way to the outside. So it takes everything in Hideo just to get him back into the ring. And then, Hideo finally gets that control again, goes for the GTS, which is immediately reversed into a glorious DDT, which is then rolled up into another glorious DDT, and Bobby Roode remains your NXT champion. Fantastic. Well done.
You could say that match was glorious.
Yeah. Didn't make me go to sleep.
No.
Oh boy.
Now the tag team ladder match. I want to put a little asterisk here that had I gotten the chance to change my vote before the time this video went up, I would have, because I found out that during a live event, I think on Thursday, it could have been Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. Ciampa hurt his knee and had to actually be taken out of a match, and then essentially like. Just tried to spend the rest of the time trying to recover before Takeover. And immediately I would have been like, no, AOP all the way. If the car ain't going into the race with four wheels, they're not going to win the race.
There's a good chance it's not winning. That being said, though,
yeah, no, it
Ciampa.
It took a good 8 or 9 minutes before like it started to catch up with Ciampa.
And it scared me every time he did something where he had to land very firmly or
On both feet.
or just their entrance, like climbing up the ladder. Like I was like, oh man, I felt so bad for Ciampa because I was like he's toughing it out because he knows how important this match is.
Yeah.
And that's really fucking cool that he had that, like, no, I'm not, a knee injury isn't going to keep me out of a main event tag team title ladder match in a place like Chicago where the fans are waiting for this match.
Yeah. And on top of that, like, one of the things that the commentators kept reiterating is Gargano and Ciampa are from that region. They are Midwest guys.
Absolutely.
Johnny Gargano out of Cleveland and Tommaso out of, I think, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they were like the two primary promotions in that area, AIW and AAW. Gargano was the head guy of AIW until he got signed, and Tommaso Ciampa was the big deal in AAW.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely home turf for both of them, but
on the other hand, too, it was also home turf for Paul Ellering. Because him and the Legion of Doom were from Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah. That being said, AOP came to fucking play in this match.
Yeah, they did.
These guys continue to impress me.
Yeah, I loved everything they did except right at the very end of the match. But we'll get there when we get to the very end of the match.
This match is it's a highlight reel of destruction.
Yeah.
So many ladders, two of which became pseudo tables. The double dive from DIY from the big ladder in the middle.
The ginormous ladder.
And just the double dive. Ciampa and Akam went through one side where Johnny looked like he kind of overshot Razor a little bit, and they just kind of rolled off the side.
Yeah, Gargano kind of bounced.
Yeah, he literally like
Gargano he's too small to be trying these things.
Yeah,
it's like
didn't quite work on the other side. Still got the effect.
Yeah.
But Ciampa and Akam really just got that crunch on the ladder on that side.
Yeah, Ciampa too probably went that like the heaviest route possible because he went legs first. On his side, but that was also to spare the fact that he didn't want to land on his knees.
Yeah.
Like on the ground.
Yeah.
So he went legs first through the ladder so he could brace for impact with his upper body on the floor. Which goes to show you protecting the knee meant let's risk my head and neck and arms.
Ciampa has priorities. There was that. Just the constant use of the ladders themselves.
Yeah. The whole shtick, too, is, both teams had characters to them, where you could be the whole idea is that, really playing up that Paul Ellering is the brains behind the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
The fact that these two guys who their general rule of thumb seems to be just come in and smash everything, rather than just coming in and trying to waffle Gargano and Ciampa. They progressed the match with strategy.
Yeah.
Which is not usually the Author of Pain's go-to thing. And then you had all the partnership symbolism with Gargano and Ciampa because they did a lot of things symmetrically.
Yeah.
Doing the double jump off the top of the ladder. And you had a lot of moments where they would have to stand next to each other in order to progress a maneuver. A lot of them rescuing each other. Because right before that double dive is when the Authors were trying to actually do the super collider on the apron.
Yeah.
And Ciampa fell into the ring and he actually grabbed Johnny and pulled him back in. Like you said, the sacrifice maneuver. Ciampa was about to eat a face full of ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And Gargano shoved him out of the way and just kind of looked at the Authors of Pain. Well, they just decided to then battering ram the ladder into Gargano's face.
Yeah. Both of them just had that moment where they're just well, that's not Ciampa. Fuck it. and just crunch Johnny's face. And then again, to your point where the Authors of Pain had strategy, and I love that. I think Nigel was the one that hit on it. It might have been Tom, but when Johnny hit the super kick on Ellering, who came in and stopped him from being able to grab the titles, he made mention as like, the Authors of Pain's general is now down. Now they don't have strategy to, they're not being told what to do. So then they just kind of go into monster mentality and just start wreaking havoc through this entire match.
Yeah, and then after freaking Gargano get his face smashed in, looked like the Authors of Pain had everything in the bag.
Yep.
And what I like is they kept consistent also with the one member holding the ladder down while the other guy could try and climb.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those
They were not very comfortable with the ladders.
One of the things I wish they would have done is I wish they would have shown potentially one of the Authors of Pain climbing up the ladder and the ladder start to tip.
Yeah.
That would have been a good little effect.
I think the effect of holding it, though, seems like they tried it before the match. This isn't going to work. One of us needs to hold it.
Was it Akam was climbing the ladder and freaking...
Razor actually did most of the climbing.
Yeah, but the end spot where Tommaso...
Oh, that was Razor's stuff.
Yeah, got German suplexed off the ladder, through a ladder.
That ladder exploded.
Poof.
And then Akam was the one that got the...
So he started climbing, and Gargano, grabbed his foot.
Yeah. And it was that moment where Johnny, who is probably trying to hold his jaw together, just grabs Akam's foot, and Akam's like, "Dude, seriously," and has to get down, and that was his mistake.
Yeah, because he sets up he's gonna do the little ladder helicopter dance.
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of hit Ciampa, but when he turned around, Gargano super kicked him, and then Tommaso knocked him down onto his knees. And then they meet in the middle with the ladder on his face.
Yes.
Looked like they had everything in the bag. Mm-hmm. Both Authors of Pain were down.
I loved this moment.
It was so good. I was telling you, I stood up during the UK Championship match when I was watching, because I watched it first. I watched Takeover first.
Yeah.
And then when they started when they both got their hands on the belts, I did the same thing again. I stood up and I was like, yes. Because partially I voted for them. But both of the Authors of Pain, they didn't even have to stand up. They were both on the ground, and they started...
So good.
They kicked the ladder in unison.
And just immediately, Ciampa and Gargano go into, panic mode, where they just clutch onto the little,
coat hanger.
The golden coat hanger that holds the titles. But yeah, that ladder just gets shoved right out from underneath that.
And the best part of this is the fact that Gargano and Ciampa were climbing a ladder, the same ladder on opposite sides, so when they were holding on, they would automatically be facing different directions.
Yeah.
So that the Authors of Pain could just walk up underneath them and grab them and powerbomb them down, and then pick them back up and hit the Super Collider.
And then do a second powerbomb immediately after. And
then this was the one part that I wish would have been slightly different.
Okay.
Is because right after this, they just bolted up the ladder like they were fine.
Okay.
Because we just had one of them went through an exploding ladder, the other one just took DIY's finishing move with a ladder attached to his head.
Okay.
And I get they did their finisher, but then they both just kind of up the ladder super fast.
The one thing that I like about this is that the immediate heat that they get for this, immediately ruining DIY's chance at the titles.
Well, yeah, and there was that thing is because it seemed so cinched in the bag that they were up on there. They had their hands on the thing.
That subtle kick with the
and it's something that you wouldn't have seen had the commentators really not even mentioned what was happening.
Yeah, because it just looked like the ladder shifted out from underneath DIY. So
and that's when everybody's like, oh no,
motherfuckers. So yeah, DIY unfortunately does not regain the tag team titles. Authors of Pain remain the tag team champions.
Yeah, they exit the ring and they pick up
They
pick up Paul Ellering, who I'm pretty sure is now just being held together by his clothes.
He's so rattled from that suit.
I feel when he fell down, all of his bones just disconnected.
Luckily he's got that jacket and the suit and it's just...
Yeah, he's got like...
He's got one arm that like stays like this, and so it looks like he's constantly telling them what to do, but it's just stuck that way. Yeah, so you get, I mean...
And they get to the top of the ramp, and Paul Oliver's like, yeah, we're number one.
So like, they drag Paul back, and then you get like that sad moment. It was like, DIY was so close. Chicago is so behind DIY. Both, you know, they have that moment again where they're like, you know, Ciampa brings in Gargano, and they're just like...
They put their heads together. They get up. They start, like, bowing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Which gives us the real vibe of, like, the DIY send-off.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's the same way whenever someone's about to leave, is they have this moment where it's just, like, they're just basked in this adulation, and they're just, like,
they usually get the main event match.
Yeah, it's a very symbolic kind of ceremony they do in NXT. And, you know, the crowd is just, you know, thanking them, chanting DIY, standing ovation, and you get that last little moment where they're heading back up the ramp. Ciampa, this is always Ciampa's thing, is he just kind of like, he always puts the hand around Johnny and kind of like brings him in for comfort. This time it wasn't fucking comfort, because he threw him into the goddamn thing, the LED board.
The background.
What the fuck? This ruined me.
And then he ran his knee, his broken knee into the broken face of Gargano. And then he walked halfway across the stage again. He pulled his knee pad down and used his broken knee, now unprotected by the knee pad, to then into the broken face of Johnny Gargano, somehow up onto the part where the commentary table is. And
this was the saddest thing. Like, I was literally about to cry.
It's because when the knee lift up there, they kind of land in a position where Tommaso's sitting down and Gargano's got his head down on the lap.
Because Johnny was down, and then he has this moment where, like, almost in desperation, he needs Ciampa to understand, and Ciampa is just like, no, and he slaps Johnny a couple times, and then I'm gonna put you through the commentator's table. Nope, there's more tables down there. Giant Celtic cross through tables to ruin my fucking day. Fuck you, Tommaso Ciampa.
And so said the Chicago crowd.
And your amazing ability to tell a story.
Because he got the "fuck you, Ciampa" chant.
He did.
And then when they finish the big spot and he gets back up onto the commentary tables and just stands there, they start chanting "asshole." And then he actually sat on the edge of the commentator's table and just kind of calmly watched as the EMTs showed up to cart Johnny out of the arena.
And now I'm going to go cry in a corner. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, needless to say, I don't think we're going to be seeing DIY on for the next couple of weeks.
I'm excited to see the singles run, though.
Yeah,
this is going to be a fantastic feud.
Ciampa's broken here, Johnny's broken here.
And I'm broken here.
Yeah. And speaking of just winning and losing, he's ahead of me.
Yes.
By, what, 1?
4-2.
4-2. So 2.
I'm up by 2. We have
2.
3 differences at Backlash. All these are going together in our wager. So here's hoping.
Yeah, I got to make a clean run if I want to win, essentially. So come on, guys. Whoever I voted for, don't let me down.
We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links.
There's a lot of them.
Check out the podcast.
The link.
Check out Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
You won't get this in the podcast form, though.
Nope.
You gotta stay here on the YouTube.
Only YouTube. Check out Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling, where you'll get that punishment video once it's up and ready to go. Check out all the other videos we've done this week, including the UK special review. Up next is Backlash. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Not Backlash.
Fuck you, Ciampa. I'm all confused. Ciampa ruined me. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Oh, no.
Why?